Welcome to day 20 of the Canon Law in a Year podcast. Today we will read Canons 94 and 95. If you want to follow along, we're using the translation from the Canon Law Society of Great Britain and Ireland, which you can see on the website www.canonlaw.ninja, linked in the description below. So these two canons aren't as dense as they sound. Don't worry if you get lost, I'll unpack them as we go. Canon 94. Statutes properly so called are regulations which are established in accordance with the law in aggregates of persons or of things, whereby the purpose, constitution, governance, and manner of acting of these bodies are defined. Note: here, statutes refers to regulations that apply to aggregates of persons or things, also known as juridic persons. In Canons 114 to 123, we will learn more about juridic persons, but in brief, they are groups of people or things that are subject to laws. You might see this referred to as corporate personhood. In practice, it means a group of people or things where the group itself can be addressed by law rather than the individuals which make up the group. This includes religious orders, and in the secular world, businesses, governments, and universities. Continuing. The statutes of an aggregate of persons bind only those persons who are lawfully members of it. The statutes of an aggregate of things bind those who direct it. Note: you are only bound by the rules of an association if you are a member of it, obviously. Your average layperson who's not a member of a monastic order doesn't have to take a vow of poverty just because a monastic order requires it for their members. In addition, for an aggregate of things, the people who have charge of it are bound by its statutes. This would include a board of trustees who oversee a charitable trust fund. They don't actually own the money in the fund, but rather are stewards of it. The members of such a board would have to abide by the statutes governing the fund. Continuing. The provisions of statutes which are established and promulgated by virtue of legislative power are regulated by the provisions of the canons concerning laws. Note: so if a statute is put in place by a legislative authority, it has force of law, and the canons covering laws apply to it. One example is a personal prelature, like Opus Dei. A personal prelature is like a diocese, but instead of being tied to a territory, it has a specific mission, and according to Canon 295, a personal prelature is governed by statutes laid down by the Apostolic See. Because their statutes are established by the Holy See, which has legislative power, those statutes follow the canons concerning laws. Continuing. Canon 95. Ordinances are rules or norms to be observed both in assemblies of persons, whether these assemblies are convened by ecclesiastical authority or are freely convoked by the faithful, and in other celebrations. They define those matters which concern their constitution, direction, and agenda. In assemblies or celebrations, those who take part are bound by these rules of ordinance. Note: the Latin ordines, here translated ordinances, you might also see rendered as rules of order. These are basically rules concerning meetings. As many of us will know from experience, having a framework and a sense of order greatly helps meetings and other organized events accomplish their goals. And that was the entirety of Title 5 of Book 1, Statutes and Rules of Order, and brings us to the end of Day 20. I will see you all tomorrow for Canons 96 through 99, starting Title 6 on Physical and Juridical Persons. Personally, I think this is the point where the Code of Canon Law starts getting more interesting, and also more useful for the average person. Have a great day, and God bless you.